The very first time I brought the giant Greyhound Blue home, I sat down in my living room and burst into tears of panic, realizing I was completely unprepared for the enormous animal standing before her. I had not expected him to be that large. I had not expected to feel that unprepared. And Blue stood there looking back at me with equal uncertainty, as though he was asking the same question I was. What do we do now? Nobody else had wanted him, and then suddenly, within a matter of days, he was here. He had spent his life before this in an environment that did not teach him how to live inside a home. He did not know house rules. He did not know how to walk on a leash without stress pulling through every step. He did not seem to know, in any basic sense, how to simply exist around people without bracing for something. We started from the beginning, from the very beginning. The first walks barely made it past the driveway. A loud sound and Blue would stop completely, his body stiffening, his head low, whatever could have startled him. Simple things overwhelmed him. I kept the outing short and let him set the pace, turning back whenever he needed to, returning the next day to try a few steps further. Progress, for a long time, was nearly invisible. Then one afternoon, Blue started running through the living room. Full speed, this giant greyhound bouncing off the furniture, tearing through the house with an abandon that had nothing to do with fear. I stood in the middle of it and laughed, and somewhere inside that laugh was the first real exhale I had taken since bringing him home. He was happy. Actually, genuinely happy. After that, his personality arrived all at once and at full volume. Blue, it turned out, was one of the most dramatic animals I had ever encountered. He had feelings about everything, and he made sure everyone in the vicinity was aware of them. Happy, annoyed, impatient, jealous, excited, each state had its own distinct expression, and none of them were subtle. It began with staring. I would be across the room doing something ordinary. I would turn around to find Blue, locked onto from his dog bed, completely still, waiting. If I did not respond, he would exhale, loudly. A long, theatrical sigh, then another, communicating deep personal suffering at the injustice of being ignored. If the sighs failed, the whining began. And if the whining failed, the entire performance escalated into a full physical demonstration involving wiggling and increasingly dramatic sounds until I started laughing, which I always did, and gave him the attention he had been requesting all along.
Alright, that's enough. Blue? Blue? No.
He noticed my moods. When I was stressed, he stayed close. When something was wrong, he watched me with a focused attention that was coming from an animal that size, genuinely comforting. These days, Blue moves through the house as though the question of ownership was settled a long time ago. He chooses his spots, occupies his furniture, and tracks the household schedule with the confidence of someone who has never doubted his place in it. Trust, once it finally arrives in an anxious animal, tends to arrive completely. Rescuing an animal changes their world, but watching Blue go from terrified to thoroughly at home, I often wonder who truly rescued whom. What are your thoughts on this? Let's share a moment in the comments.